folks, welcome to our broadcast. Welcome to In the Ring, a very special edition of In the Ring as we're underground, moving around Region 7. And in particular, we came to you this morning from Camarang, Region 7. Today, this evening now, we're joining you from Kako, a village, Region 7 as well. And folks, I thought Camarang was beautiful, but my God, Kako was is even more beautiful. The boat ride from the Camarang River into the Mazaroni River into Kako, breathtaking. My first time this far in the region. This is Upper Maz, I think they fondly call it. My first time this far Upper Maz. Folks, you get a chance to visit these places. Take that opportunity. Do not take it lightly. Please and thank you. It was a fantastic plane ride into Camarang, as we told you guys this morning. A fantastic boat ride as well into Kako. The Prime Ministerial candidate for the Partnership for National Unity, APNU coalition, is meeting with villagers just behind us here, folks. And I want to take you into that, listen to some of what she's telling the indigenous, our indigenous brothers and sisters, unveiling a raft of commitments to indigenous communities in this country, set to roll out 1st of September 2025. Folks, we're heading into these historic elections. Come with me into what they call the community mess hall here at Kako. Just reminding myself, the community mess hall here at Kako for some of what's happening just behind me. Come along with us, folks.
Some of the things that's on the first page here, you would see that we will remove all political interference out of indigenous communities. You should be able to elect your leaders without politicians swarming down to try to direct where you make your decisions. You should be able to do all of those things for the Tushaus in every single indigenous communities. We have Tushaus, and Tushaus are our leaders. They are indigenous leaders. But we have a system that Tushaus are not given the resources equal to other leaders in other areas. So we're saying that we're going to change that. One of the things that we're proposing right now is that once we're elected into office in September, on September the 1st, from September, Tushaus will be given the resources and councillors also, because we'll be raising from a stipend to a salary basis for your Tushaus because they work hard. All right? And we'll be raising for the Tushaus, the deputy Tushaus, and all the councillors. I know the Tushaus money would be raised to $200,000 a month plus benefits. All right? That's one of the things. You know? But it's not just, we have an overarching policy. When I say overarching, I mean we're thinking about everybody. We're not just thinking about the Tushaus and the councillors. We're thinking about the elderly people as well. So for pension, we're going to be raising pension to $100,000 per month, every month. And I know that there are so many times that pensioners have to wait to get your money. That will not be so. You will be getting your money every single month on time. Those are things that are easy to be done as soon as September reaches. It's very important. She's absolutely correct. Now, for all of you here, I know persons would have your children. I'm a mother. I have 3 daughters. Yes, 3 daughters. Only looking so young, don't worry. You thought I'm single? No, I'm not single. I have 3 daughters. My oldest daughter is a teacher. She's 19. I have a 10-year-old daughter also. My baby is 9 months old. Yes, I have 3 daughters. Yes. I have a volunteer babysitter coming already. So I say that to say, when it comes to children, I understand the challenges that we have had as Indigenous people. Indigenous communities are usually very expensive to buy certain things because it's so difficult to get goods coming up to areas like the Upper Mazen. So one of the things that we're looking to do is making sure that we put back the Guyana Airways. The older people will remember that. The Guyana Airways, so because we have to reduce the cost to travel into the hinterland, to travel in and out. So that's a priority project for us. You at the back, you remember that, right? That is a very important one for us. We're going to be making sure that we push highways connecting the hinterland to the coastline, and to make sure that you have the ability to control who comes into your communities at all times, so that not any and everybody could just come in at any time. You will be determining that yourself. You will still have that right to determine who comes. When it comes to the children again, we have put a policy in place that after we are elected on the 1st of September, we are going to be making sure that every child gets $120,000 per year. And we're going to have that payment twice a year. So every 6 months, it's $60,000 per child. That is going to be for every child from birth right through school. If your child goes to school until they're 17, 18 years old, every year, they're going to be getting that money. And as the years go on, we will increase that also. All right. So we're talking about making sure your children have money. We're talking about making sure the senior citizens have money. Something that is very dear to me is when it comes to business and business class. You hear Mr. Kenneth Williams said earlier that when it comes to finance, that's what I do. I have a bachelor's in economics and a master's in public administration. All right? And when it comes to finance, I have been in Parliament from 2020 to 2025, and I was a shadow minister of finance. So when the PUP government put their budget forward, and I don't see what I should see for communities like Kako, what's going on here? Now, we have made sure in our policies that we are going to be creating an Indigenous business class. And I want to talk to you about that, because Indigenous communities, particularly the Upper Mazaruni, I do not like when I go to Indigenous communities and I see a business setting up and I find out who owns this business. It's not somebody from the community. We have businesses being set up, and Guyana is a country that everybody could do business. But my point is that when I come to Indigenous communities, it is only right that I see the Indigenous people of that communities setting up businesses also. I want to make sure that your children actually have that empowerment. They actually have the support. They're getting the finance, and we're going to be giving those finances, the grants that are needed, the small loans that are needed for them to set up business so that they can live well and their children could live well also. I believe that this time is our time to actually benefit from the resources that we have. The Upper Maz is a wealthy community when it comes to resources. But we have people coming into the Upper Maz, taking out the resources, damaging the environment, and the Upper Maz is still poor. That is the fact that we're looking at right now. This country is not just to one set of people. This country is for everybody. And if we could have development on the coast or in Georgetown or in any town, we could have development in the hinterland too. And we have to get to a stage in which the houses and the electricity and the water that you're getting in the hinterland is just as good as we can get it on the coastline. And the only thing that is stopping us from getting that is simple policies. We have had systems in place in which persons, and I know I can say when it comes to the two showers have been working overtime, but they have not been given the adequate support and resources to do all the things that they want to get done. And we're going to change that. One of the things I want to say, and I'm happy that the Tushaw is here right now, is that carbon credits is something that is being received, money is being received by Guyana because we have so much forest. The indigenous people, we have been the persons that have been the guardians of the forests over the years. Now, if monies are being collected for those forests being kept and in check as it is, then I believe that 15% is not enough to be given to the indigenous communities. It is not. So on this paper, at the back of it, you will see we're going to be raising the carbon credits for the indigenous communities to 50%. We're going to move it from 15% to 50%, but most importantly, that money is to be paid directly to you, the people. We're going to be putting that money in your pockets. Now, when it comes to the council is going to be given support, both financially from a national budget that is over $1 trillion. There is no excuse for not budgeting enough money for the Tushaw and the council to have money to develop their communities. So we are going to be budgeting through the national budget to make sure that the council is getting adequate money also. This is not just a gaffe, right? And I want to tell you guys how much money that we have right now. Right now, the 2025 budget is $1.382 trillion. That's what the national budget is right now for this year. So there's no reason why Kako and every other indigenous community cannot benefit to see their community develop and grow. We have to think about the environmental issues. We have to think about how the development that we want to see as a community. I can be from Lower Mazaruni, but when I come up here, it's not everything that I may want, you may want. So it's all about what you want to see and the development you want. But I believe that there are some things that we all can agree on. And when it comes to education, health care, businesses, the right to self-determination, we all want those things. We all want to be able to say that we are leaving a legacy behind for our children, that their lives will be better than our lives. And the challenges that we had, they will not have to face. And that is why I am here today. Because all my work is to make sure that my children and your children have a better life. And that the hinterland is not just left behind as it has always been left behind. And we are going to change that now. Forbes and all of the other leaders in the PNC worked hard to see that the indigenous communities are strengthened, and that's a fact. Nobody could come and say otherwise. Any other government did not see the need to have an indigenous person in parliament. Burnham said that I want to have an indigenous person in parliament because they must be able to speak to represent their own rights. I am here because Mr. Norton and the current leadership in the APNU said that it is time for an indigenous prime minister to be in Guyana because we can represent ourselves. I don't want this to be just me talking to you, because one of the things I don't like is a situation in which people just come and lecture. I like to hear from persons as well. So, if Tushao, if you can help me just with this part of it, I just want to hear from you, hear what your challenges are. Let me tell you what are the things we are looking at to remedy those problems.
Welcome back to our broadcast. Look, we feel as though our quality of life has greatly improved since we are in Region 7, Camarang, we've touched Kako, Jawala, beautiful Jawala, folks. But before we let you go, certainly you've listened to the prime ministerial candidate, Rita Fernandez, there making the arguments, as we say. This is retail politics. This is getting on the ground off of social media and talking with people about the things that matter, about the issues that concerns them. Good folks, this is where it's all about. This is what it's all about. It's where it's happening. My God, I feel so excited. You all are confusing me. You all see this expanse of river here? My God, a little hammock, a Spanish and all right. But that being said, folks, let's talk about a couple other things before we let you guys go. We had a fantastic public meeting quite recently in, what was that special area there, Baggotsville, on the west side, the best side they say. You know, it's kind of challenged a couple of times because I think where we are in the city is the best side, but we can give it to the west side as for now, that the west side is the best side, folks. And we had a lot of fantastic presentations, but I heard Mr. Norton in fine form, and also, you know, who we heard from also on Saturday. We heard from the one and only Dr. Dexter Todd. He's our senior counselor. Dr. Dexter Todd spoke on several issues at Baggotsville. So we want you guys to hear some of that, and also leader of the APNU coalition. Of course, Dexter Todd, Dr. Dexter Todd is a candidate for the APNU coalition. Take a listen to him, and also a leader of the APNU coalition, Mr. Aubrey Compton Norton as well. And then we're going to see you guys back on the other side, and we touch on a couple issues. Take a look, folks, and take a listen.
You can't trust the PPP to put you first. Look what the PPP did with the pensioners. Look what they did. Look what they did with the grant. We had old people line up in a line, long lines. Some got to be pushed by wheelchair. Some stand up, no seat, no arrangement. There was no care for our people. And the APNU will not only give $100,000 to our old age pensioners, you will be respected. You will be respected. And it's not only an issue of giving grants. Imagine, and that is what the lies that they told us. Every time you go to take out a grant, you got to take out picture. It's just a picture. Everywhere is picture. So that they can post you all over the place. But you know what they're trying to do? You and I must understand that by doing that, what they were attempting to do is to play with our psyche. You must recognize that is the PPP giving you. You know, like if you're giving a little crumbs to dogs and animals, they're just feeding you. None of them took the time to explain to the people of this country that that money belonged to you. It was our money. Every Thursday, groups of African Guyanese have to meet at a particular office on Love Street just to take out picture, to hear your plan. And if you don't want to take out your picture, we don't want to hear your plan. That is an attempt to play with our psyche so that you can see that African Guyanese and other Guyanese of this society are being, that attention is being given to them by the PPPC. That is a lie. That is a lie. You must look carefully. This PPP government doesn't respect at all professionals in this country. They don't respect professionals. They don't respect professional opinions. They seek in every attempt to undermine professionals in this country, because their motive is to create a one-party state, so that if you're not PPP, then you're in some good, then you're in right. And the lies they have been telling you is that the PNC and the APNU, that they must come to you for robbing this country of democracy. That is a lie. That is a lie. You must be bold enough to tell them, if they have their facts, bring your facts. Bring your facts. You want to say that the APNU rigged the last election? Bring your facts. Because we know that they still have the 40 boxes that ain't had the requisite documents for. And not because you get out the court system, because of a technicality. You get out the court system because one of the party's leader was not served. And because of that, the case dropped. So you never got to establish in a court that anybody rigged no elections. So you and I must allow all the people within our gathering to know the truth, and to stop allowing the PPP to spread lies. We don't have to apologize to them for nothing. They are the riggers. They are the riggers. They are the people who are corrupt. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you, and I want you to listen to me very carefully. These elections, you know, we like to say, every election we like to say, this is the election of the elections. But let me tell you something. If there was ever a time for you to mobilize, for you to work seriously to ensure that every person within your community, within your circle, are prepared to put this nasty PPPC out of government, is no. Is no. You have heard about the Adriana Young's case plenty times tonight. There are things I can't say to you as the lawyer, but let me tell you something. You are not fools. All of us watched how that incident unfolded. And still to this day, they try to insult our intelligence. Still to this day, there was every attempt made by this administration to frustrate a clean and independent investigation.
I want to speak to the Guyana Police Force. It is a sad and bad thing to know who commit a crime and you arrest somebody else. And we are well aware that there are certain rogue elements in the Guyana Police Force who take instruction to lock up innocent people, children, and you wouldn't want it to happen. Do not take the instruction of the rich, mighty, and powerful and place innocent people in the lockups. It's bad, and it should come to an end. And for those who they are telling we did nothing, let me remind you, Bargettsville, all the villages, let me remind you, between 2015 to 2020, we had reduced crime. And the police was stopped from running into a community and arresting people for no reason at all. And if it is one thing we did, we began to bring back justice to this country. And under the APNU, there will be justice. I said in Melanie, and I repeat it here, this government shows no real interest in our joint services. A lot of times, when our police and soldiers retire at that young age, they really can do nothing else. And we're saying to you that we will have programs to ensure soldiers and policemen get technical and other training while serving in the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defense Force. We will prepare them for a life after military service. My friends, you know, if you raise an economic issue with the bald rat, he doesn't answer the question. He abuses. This country has one of the highest cost of living. But he never comes to tell us what he will do to lower the cost of living. He always coming for talking neighbor business, but you know your own business. We are saying to you that an APNU government will reduce the cost of living while simultaneously increasing your wages and salaries. And we say to you that as we raise the cost of living, we're going to promote agriculture in every region to ease the pressure on local agricultural produce so that the cost can come down or stabilize. That is what we want to hear Jack Day doing, not calling people low life. We want to hear them outline the measures that will deliver to you. We are going to put more money into small business, micro business, for both grants and soft loans, because we believe that if our young people have access to grants and loans and they can develop business and we support the business, then Guyana will do better. And so we promise you we will focus on the development of micro and small businesses. You know, one of the everyday complaints I get is people coming to say they apply for social assistance, the minister ain't like me, so I ain't get. Or somebody close to the ministry don't like me and I ain't get. I want to say this to you. Social assistance is a right for people who need it. It's a right. And what we will do is put clear rules and regulations and criteria. So once you're entitled to your social assistance, you will get it. We will also do the same for people with disabilities. We intend to develop the special needs they have in the schools and in the country, because we believe many people with disabilities, they have abilities that can be utilized to develop this country. And so what we will do is create the environment for them to be able to function. My friends, we have an election to win. I want you to sit down and imagine 1 month after 1st of September. Yeah. I want you to sit and imagine 1 month after the elections with a PPP government. Remember, in the first month, they killed the Henry boys. Remember the things they did. And then I want you to remember one thing. 1992, 2015, that is bad. 2020 to 2025, they get worse. No, they will get worse. Worse. You can get to make a word for describe them. And therefore, we are obligated to go from house to house and speak to people on why they should vote for the APNU. We have better policies. We will restore law and order. We will give them a livable income. We will improve the quality of life. And that is what you should be voting for. So, comrades, see yourself as part of this struggle. See yourself as working for the future, for your children. That is what matters. And so, I want you to join this campaign. You can campaign at home. You can campaign at the street corner. You can campaign in your family. And when you campaign for us, you are campaigning for betterment. When you campaign for the APNU, you are campaigning for your children. When you campaign for the APNU, you are campaigning for yourself. We need to end this corruption, this incompetence, and this deceit. You know, the English language does not have superlatives to describe this government.
All right, guys. Welcome back. Now, wasn't that something? Wasn't that something else? Look, it was a fantastic evening. We had a couple dozen persons. I would argue 200-300 persons came out there at that meeting, the public meeting there in Baggotsville. And now you have the whistle stops that are starting there. The door-to-door is continuing in areas like Baggotsville and all over this country. As a matter of fact, that's why we are where we are. We are just having meetings with our indigenous brothers and sisters in Kako and Camarang and Joal and lots of the other places here on the outskirts of Camarang, the central area. But we're also knocking on some doors here as well and making that one-on-one retail politics pitch. Folks, this is what it is all about. It doesn't get better than this. It doesn't get better than this. I don't even know if I want to come back to the city. I don't even know if I want to come back to the city. Folks, look at this. This thing you see in picture only on postcards and, you know, in the wildlife journals and so forth. But we get a chance to be part of it. I can't come off quick enough to go and get a little dip here. Folks, let's talk about a couple of things before we let you guys go. One of the things I want to raise with you all is the fact that the PPP continues to block access to the media. The PPP continues to block access to the media, and I think it is Forward Movement Guyana who raised real issue with this a couple of days ago. Writing to the media, and I think it was in particular Diligent for a New Guyana, is that the name of the party with Darwin Best, raised issue that the public media seems only taxpayers' money funded, only to be promoting the PPP. Now, this is what they will do anything, folks, you understand it by now. They will do anything not to give their political competitors any mileage at all. And this is what is happening in lots of the shenanigans that you're seeing, where it's friends fighting friends, friends who fall out, big talale, as we say. But why are we, bringing Guyanese into all this? Right? Why are we including Guyanese into all this? Suffice to say that we want our share of the airwaves as well. And look, nobody watches NCN. Let's be frank. Nobody watches NCN, and you see these guys turn to social media influencers, turn to the social media platforms more than they've gone into the studios at NCN or DPI or any one of the propagandist place like that newsroom or the Chronicle, right? But it doesn't weaken the point that the state media, right? These media entities that are funded by your taxpayers' dollars and my own should be open to all of us for access, for all of us to do the political hustlings in this country. But that is how they want to dominate, and that is how they choose to do it. Now, I'm happy the Carter Center is here already. I think the EU also is here as well already. And I know they're watching. And I hope you all don't wait only till after the elections to include this in some report that never gets read, much more for the recommendations to be implemented. I hope to God you all don't wait so long to sound the alarm and to raise your voices too, because you all have a stake in democracy at this end. Look, folks, we're big enough to understand by now that what happens in one part of the world affects the other. You know, a ripple in this river behind us here affects somebody halfway across the world, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Good folks, so we're concerned about that as well, and we were very heartened to see others picking up on this as well, what they are doing in terms of siphoning off the media bias, right? Media bias, folks, understand that the kind of imbalances in media coverage that you're seeing currently deprives voters of fair access to diverse political perspectives, and it undermines democratic process and the democratic principles, right? It undermines democratic principles. Now, we have no trouble, absolutely no trouble whatsoever in putting our ideas out there to contend with other ideas. We have no trouble whatsoever doing that. But it seems as though them boys don't want that. You know, you've heard the leader of the APNU coalition said it once, said it twice, numerous times. The Prime Minister candidate as well. This is Robert Norton and Director of Finance, respectively. They're ready to debate anybody, anytime. You all name the place, name the time. We can show up. We're taking on everybody. Everybody. So we're watching that. This bias in local media and in political coverage, and this bias, we are saying it is stifling, it is undermining democratic principles. Now we're watching that. I want to hasten to the other thing I want to raise with you, because we're seeing some of the headlines, some of the issues that are making the news today. We're just giving you guys a broad sweep of some of the issues that are trending. I saw one pertaining to indigenous communities in particular. Here is the installed regime, the incumbent, pushing back, saying that their policies are positively affecting hinterland communities. Positively affecting hinterland communities, and defending their record of quote-unquote Amerindian indigenous development. Now, if they felt they had done so good, they wouldn't be working overtime, spending taxpayers' money on their campaign to bus and truck and this and that. Folks from far-flung areas in the hinterland, if they have a meeting at one spot, people don't come naturally to listen to anything they say. They gotta go and threaten and coerce and all of that. I heard comments attributed to a disgraced minister quite recently, that he is watching people and he is making notes about people who not supporting the incumbent regime and what they're not going to do when they return to office and all of it. They gonna happen. That's not going to happen. We're putting you all on notice, folks. The APNU coalition, we've already won this election, you know. It's just by what percentage, and they understand that, and that's why you see them giddy up. Some of them have already started to clear out their drawers at work. They've already started to do that. So when we see, this this panic, this desperation of the incumbent, we understand all too well what it means. We're watching you all sideways. Don't come around with funny. You see, it's one thing when you understand the PPP playbook, right? It's one thing when you understand the PPP playbook. You know what they're coming with, and so you know how to fend them off very, very easily. You know how to fend them off very easily.
with easy dispatch. You know how to find them up. So we are watching that. If you have done so well, you all should be cruising. You all should be cruising. But we know it's panic in the camp. It's desperation in the camp, and that is why you're going to go and siphon off the media, right? You don't want your opponents' voices to be heard, and you all say you all have been democratic. You all say you all have espoused good governance. Huh? My God, well, if you all have done that, if you all have done that, you know, let's hasten on. Let's hasten on. What a beautiful river. My God, y'all come along and let me dip a little bit, man. Come along and let me dip a little bit. Shout out to our indigenous brothers and sisters who have been so welcoming to us here. You know, arms open. Arms open. You should see how they sang for our prime ministerial candidate when she touched up in Kako. You know, fantastic. You know, fantastic. So let's touch on a couple of other issues. So we touched on the major bias. We touched on the fact that they're siphoning off. You know, they're not allowing any space to any of their competitors on state media. That's good governance for you. And we're also saying you have not served our indigenous people well. And case in point, look at our morning broadcast. We're talking about the Kamrang Hospital that feeds places like Kako, you know, that feeds places like Jowala. That's supposed to be central, right? You got 1 hour solar power. Once the generator kick off, you got an hour on solar. Nurses and doctors tell us, residents tell us, they deliver babies with torchlight in blackout. Basic things like hospital. Basic things like aspirin. The hospital does not have. And this is the fastest growing economy on earth. A high income country, biggest per capita GDP. It sounds nice on paper. It sounds extremely nice. I don't want to lose my footing at all. I messed up the graphic. Right? It sounds nice on paper, folks, but in actuality, when you put it to the test, you always find them wanting. So that's another thing, another issue we want to look at. We're going to just run another 2 or 3 by you folks and let you all go. We know this is not our regular programming. We are boots on the ground, and so we are moving, you know, talking to folks here and also wanting to get you folks the valid and credible information as well. Now, I saw, I think, on iNews, another propaganda outfit, another propaganda rag, saying how something the AFC said betrays the fact that there's some conspiracy to make the PUP a minority government. There's some conspiracy, folks. Making any government a minority government is not an exact science. Then you click here, you press a boom, minority government. I knew what nonsense you're talking. What foolishness you're talking. I knew. Huh? If you haven't got nothing to write, look, just left the thing blank, and people might respect you all better. Might respect you all more. They say there was some conspiracy, right? Part of what they said is that there's a strategy aimed at pushing the ruling party into a minority government. But if the PUP has delivered, right, has delivered development, has spent and have been accountable for the trillions, and people can feel it in their pocket, you know, and it's nice time all over. We gotta worry about, you don't gotta worry about no minority government. The fact that you're worrying about a minority government tells us that you are doing nothing. The fact that you're worrying about that, a minority, you should be, your closest competitor should be 30 points out from your closest competitor. 30 points out. But folks, we're losing a light here, and the rain is coming down a little bit. We are also in solidarity with our brother Travis Chase, my brother Travis Chase, who looks out for me. I saw a judgment went against him, slander and libel. I hope Travis is set to appeal that. I hope he is set to appeal that. Travis, don't take it lying down. right, or sitting down. Right? This is pertaining to defamation suit, I think, by Ed Ahmad, US-based Guyanese Ed Ahmad, is said to have secured a default judgment against Travis Chase, of course, you know, news reporter extraordinaire, over a series of alleged defamatory posts. This judgment, I think, was handed down on June 10th by Justice Fidela Corbin Lincoln. It says here, it's being reported that this judgment went against our brother Travis Chase after he failed to file defense within 42 days, the legal window following service of the lawsuit. Right, that's what we made to understand. And the $100 million was the damages that were sought initially, and we're being told that the actual amount has not been made known, or the judge has not ruled on that aspect of how much the damages will be. But I encourage my brother to appeal this matter. Appeal it. That's what they do. Right? It's only when things not in their favor, there's no what is, you know, spurious and vexatious and concatenation and all the foolishness. It's only when things are moving against them. So that is another issue that we're watching, and we want our brother Travis Chase to know, Chief, we're standing in solidarity with you. We are standing in solidarity with you. Right? And finally, before I let you go, you guys go, I hear now the promising cooking gas at $1,000. This is rich. This is rich. They're promising cooking gas at $1,000. Now, Erie supposed to already got electricity at half price. Where is that? They crash up the whole gas energy project. It's at a standstill right now. And that same project, they're not even giving us the subsidized electricity. We have price electricity. They're telling us they're not going to be ready till next year sometime, if it is ever ready, like the Skeldon Modernization Factory. You know, like Skeldon. If it ever gets ready, you know, you can't even give us what you have promised. We have price electricity. Now you're going to cooking gas at $1,000. But this is desperation for you. This is desperation. And of course, they had their rally over the weekend. Was it at Anna Regina? You know, bus people. I saw, you know, lines upon lines of, you know, buses and factory trucks. You know, cane harvesting trucks and so on, and the boats and the this and that they're paying for. They're paying for threatening people. And who didn't threaten is a box of cook up on 5,000. And then at this rally, I heard some hints that the U.S. could rendition Wynn's presidential candidate Ashdin Mohammed. You see when friends fall out? Right? When elephants fight, is the grass that gets trampled. These folks are not interested in putting you first, as the APNU coalition is. They are not. You see, they want to keep the oil flowing for them. They want to keep the money flowing for them. Right? They're already getting the money. And that's why bringing you cheap electricity has not been a priority. They're already getting the money. That's why they're only coming now to promise you gas at $1,000, you know, or something like that. Right? But they know, like I said, I say it again, we've already won this thing. It's just by what margin, right? We see all the moves to rig and the fake ID cards and all that they're doing, folks. All that they're doing. Let us leave it there. I really want to thank our indigenous brothers and sisters here in Region 10, in Region 7 rather. We do have indigenous communities in Region 10, Ladersville and Huluru and some other places as well. You're going to see us soon, you know. You're going to see us soon. You're going to see us more. You're going to see us more. Look at this view. You know, look at this view. Take that in, folks. My God. My God. We live in a blessed country. We live in a blessed country. We've had poor leadership and poor management, and we're going to change that. We're going to change that.
All right, so we're going to leave it there for now, folks. We I've shown you a lot. Kako Village, Camarang early on, and we're heading off to some other places, so we're going to bring that to you folks as well. But folks, my God, look at this artwork behind us here. Look at this artwork behind us. It is so spectacular. I want to say shout out to the Tushao here at Kako. I think Mario Hastings, I think is his name. Forgive me if I got it wrong. Big shout out to him being so welcoming, and the entire community here and village of Kako. The folks who came from nearby places as well. Folks, we've had a fantastic time. My God, this is so beautiful. I hope this preserved for a long time. The person who took the time to put up this artwork here, this mural. Folks, that's going to do it for us. You heard some of the initiatives being rolled out here at Kako Village. You listened to the Prime Ministerial candidate talking to residents here. You saw the interaction with her in the village. Listen to some of the concerns of the residents here as well in Kako Village. That's going to do it for us at this end. That's our time, folks, and that's our program. Thanks for joining us. Share the damn live. Smash that emoji button as well, and partner with us, folks. We can keep on keeping on. That's going to do it for us at this end. That's our time. That's our program. Stay safe.